You mean like why do people need MSE in the first place?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, because we have an epidemic of underdeveloped faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live in a clown world where everyone's all sick and unhealthy.
Yeah. That's what urbanization does, I guess.
That's what
Cause like
urbanization.
yeah,
Well,
cause
it
it's
does
crazy.
no,
Cause
it
like it's like I think 98% of the history of humans we just lived on farms, and then a small percentages were in cities and shit.
yeah. Well, if you want to include pre-industrial, or I should say pre-agricultural, then we definitely weren't living on farms. We were sort of roaming around in tribes in, more wild habitats, not agricultural sort of man-made habitats like farms. But um, I would say the largest percentage of human history we were doing that, which is that's the era where we would have had the biggest jaws, was when we were hunter gatherers,
Hunter
you know.
gatherers.
Um, but urbanization, look, nothing has to be any particular way. If we had public health initiatives that promoted good craniofacial habits, we could pack 7 million people into New York City and they would all have good facial structure. We just, we're not promoting the right ideas and habits for people to have good facial structure. I mean, first and foremost, we're denouncing breastfeeding as something that's oppressive to women. Okay, and I understand in many cases if women can't breastfeed. I totally understand and get that, but there is also a cultural push. It's part of feminism to denounce breastfeeding as something that's beneath women. Right? That's a step backward for the development of children's faces. Then we have this soft food craze. Everyone is so just excited to get their baby eating pureed shit, mush. Everyone wants to oh, my baby had his first pureed blueberries today. Instead of getting the baby off of the nipple and onto something a little bit harder for them to actually chew on and develop their jaws. Right? That's another really bad public health initiative that's out there. And then it only goes downhill from there. Everyone's getting dogs and cats now. Kids, oh, let's get a dog so little Jimmy can grow up with a dog, right? And then little Jimmy has freaking allergies for the first 8 years of his life, and he grows up a mouth breather because he can't breathe through his nose. Then little Jimmy ends up 7 years old, and he goes to the orthodontist. He's got crooked teeth, and then Doctor Bozo the clown, who's got to make the payment on his AMG Mercedes in his fucking vacation house in Martha's Vineyard, needs to just get Jimmy in and out because he's got to have 40 Jimmys a day in order for him to make his house and car payments and keep stacking stacks. So what's he do? Oh, little Jimmy, we can get your teeth straight. Let's just yank out 8 teeth. We'll just amputate 8 of your teeth. That'll give us space to straighten you out. You'll be in and out of treatment with me in a year and a half. Doesn't that sound perfect? Year and a half, $10,000. You can have a perfectly straight smile. And that's how our healthcare system works. And then after little Jimmy gets those 8 teeth yanked, he gets even worse. Then he gets ADD. They throw him on Adderall. Then he becomes antisocial. They throw him on fucking Xanax and fucking Prozac. And they get him an iPhone so he can fucking pass his time on TikTok instead of being miserable and suicidal. He can just be on TikTok and numb his life away through that. And then if he's lucky, he's smart. He probably is smart. And he does some googling, and he comes onto YouTube. He decides to take advantage of the the resources he has available to him. He comes upon jaw hacks. And he figures it out, and then he books a consultation with Ron. Ron tells him about the local MSE provider, the local orthodontic surgeon, tells him about Mewing, tells him about how he should be doing kettlebells every day and eating more steak, fucking chewing gum, spitting game to girls, developing his social skills, working toward a good career so he can have money in the bank. And then he, expands his jaws a little bit, gets his life in order, takes a step toward being a good man, a healed, responsible, healthy man who's not just coping, but who actually might thrive a little bit. No one's going to be perfect, but at least he's surviving, right? And that it didn't have to be like that. He should have never had to talk to me. He should have just grown up with a normal face, had a good, healthy upbringing, been a Chad, played some sports, probably not football because football is destructive to the brain. Maybe baseball, maybe basketball, maybe, volleyball, whatever. Something that gets him developing his hand-eye coordination, gets him on a team, doing teamwork, developing social skills, using his body in competition with other men, da-da-da-da. And he should have been normal. But it's not because he was living in the city this all happened. It's not about urbanization. It's about bad ideas from the top down. And then we have better ideas coming from the ground up through things like my YouTube channel and similar. But this is really a failure of public health, is what it is more than anything. Is it a concerted effort to weaken young men so that they become more docile? I don't know. Certainly, if you connect the dots looking backwards, that's what it appears to be, right? Like you could not design a more perfect sabotaging of young men's health, wealth, and happiness if you tried. It's also perfectly orchestrated. Every possible bear trap is put in front of young men and women, but young men are the ones I sort of specialize in and I talk to. My channel is 90% men or more. So it's a dark time we're living through, but we're going to get through it. We're all going to make it. All of us. We're all going to make it. We're not going to be perfect, but we're all going to make it. We're all going to be better than we could have been if we didn't put in the effort to try to climb out of this hole.